Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hi everybody and welcome back to Tattoo Homewreckers, a podcast where we talk about tattoos, life, and everything in between. My name is Callista and this is
Lubot 9000.
And today,
Hi.
we're 1 day behind. Apologies. It's been a crazy weekend, and let me tell you why we lived about 10 different lives this week.
If you heard a thump just then, that's because Bailey decided to get up here because it's now a fucking emergency. So she's going to sit on my lap.
It's a snuggle emergency. Welcome. We have a special guest, Bailey Berry. Bailey, welcome to the show. Would you like to say anything?
No.
Okay, that's totally fine. You can just sit and relax. Oh my gosh, she's so adorable.
I'm a silent guest.
Silent
also,
guest.
I think there's peppermint schnapps up here.
Is that why you jumped up here?
Yes.
You freaking alcoholic. I can't believe you. Oh my god, she's so cute. Well, welcome. Welcome to the show, Bailey. It was apparently a huge emergency. Do you want me to put my leg closer so you can also... Okay, now she's on both of our laps.
This is all she's ever wanted.
So, we had a crazy weekend. Do you want to tell them what we started with our weekend with? We picked up our friends from the airport.
Oh, I was like, I don't remember.
Friday night.
Yes, on Friday night.
We picked up our friends from the airport. We got the house ready. We have been preparing for a huge event at the shop. We recently just had a Lou's birthday bash / fundraiser at the shop on Saturday. So if you went, thank you so much for coming. We got to meet some of our wrecking balls. That was Bailey's ear hitting
Not
my
Callie
necklace.
farting.
Not me farting.
What if it was your fart hitting your necklace?
That would be an insane fart considering the necklace is on the front of my body. So I don't know how that would happen. Bailey is now licking me.
Went up and around.
Now she's just licking my leg. So this is just live updates. So if you hear that, that's Bailey. Nothing weird's going on in the studio today. It's fine. Everything is fine. I haven't had a car for the past week or so.
Yeah.
So that's also been a thing. Not only have we been getting ready for this event, we had 9 days to pull it off. I got in a minor car accident. My steering is out. Haven't had a car. Still don't have a car. All good. Everything's fine.
It will hopefully get fixed tomorrow.
Yes, fingers crossed. I'm feeling kind of sick because of everything that we've accomplished. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we picked up our friends Friday night at the airport. I know, I'm
very distracted by the fact that Bailey's just licking you.
I'm wearing shorts and now she's just licking my legs. So that's just how it's going.
Yep.
Stayed up until 2 in the morning doing hors d'oeuvres.
Every night? Yeah.
Yeah, every night it was 2 to 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
One of the nights it was 6 a.m. for you.
Yep.
Crazy.
2 of the nights.
2 of the nights.
Yeah, 2 of the nights at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
But
I slept so hard last night. I felt like I was in a coma. It was wild. When I arose from bed this morning, I was like, holy shit, where am I? I know, so cute.
I'm really distracted by the fact that Bailey is sitting on both of us.
Oh.
Yeah, we basically just lived 17,000 lives because the reason why you got into a minor car accident is because we had a blizzard.
Oh, forgot about that.
Yep. So basically right after last week's episode, then everything happened. Caboose had some family stuff happen. That was a really scary big emergency. And then your car got broken because of ice.
R.I.P. Just kidding. It's fine.
Yeah. He's just resting. He's in a coma right now. He's coming back.
He's out of commission.
And then my car got left at the shop because it got snowed in.
I had to get rescued again.
Twice.
So I got rescued twice in the span of 3 days.
Yep. And then our friends, and then we were up all night doing merch and just doing everything we could for the fundraiser. Mm-hmm. And then all the pre-stress around it being my birthday because that's a really sensitive thing. And if you've been here before a while or you know me, my birthday is traditionally cursed. Mm-hmm. We did do a I don't know, a seance-y type situation.
Yeah, in Iceland.
2 years ago, thinking it would lift the curse.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't work for last year.
No, it did not.
But we figured out why.
Mm-hmm. So we'll tell you about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we had the fundraiser / birthday party.
Yeah. And it went really well. Thank you guys for coming. We got to meet so many people that listened to the podcast. So thank you.
That was the coolest part is meeting people. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, I listened to the podcast. And so then there was a couple there that recognized, Caboose.
Amazing.
And they were like, okay, but I need to know, is it a red versus blue thing? Or is it because you were in the military, you always came in last? And it was so cool because they like knew the whole like lore of us because they listen to podcasts. So shout out to you guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
That was dope.
You guys were amazing. So awesome.
Yeah.
It was really cool too because I was like, thanks for listening. I've said some crazy ass shit on there. So thanks for continuing to listen because we say some out of pocket shit all the time. So fucking funny. So the event went really well. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you to those who donated. Thank you for supporting us. We really appreciate it. What people don't like, I guess, really know about events like that is we are for the most part a 3-man team. Obviously there's me and Lou. We are the front face of the company. Caboose helps out so
2 people.
much. Just 2 people.
It's a 4-man team. I'm 2 people.
You're 2 people?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 4-man team.
Yeah.
Well, the amount of work that you put in, yeah, you would be considered
thanks.
2 people.
That's not the point I was making.
That's okay. That is totally fine. What point were you making?
I don't know. You said it was 3-man team, and I was like, am I 2 people?
No, I was talking about Caboose. That also helps us a lot.
What about Bailey?
Okay, listen. I'm trying to
Emotional support.
Emotional support, Bailey, which
My bad, you guys. I am chaotic as fuck
You
today.
are. You're getting extra wiggly. Also, she's just been stopping and taking pictures of Bailey, but she hasn't moved.
No, but she's so cute. Plus, like, I'll ask Caboose to, like, put them up here. So they'll be, like, here when I take a picture.
Oh, cute.
So if you're on YouTube, then you got to, like, see a picture of Callie's crotch with the dog on it.
I know. She's so sweet, though.
So you were making the point that we are typically a 3-man team because, bless my poor husband's heart, he gets wrangled into all of this.
He does, and he's so cool because he recently just got a laser, and I just think it's really funny because, you know, boys, they get their lasers, and the first thing that he's doing is Barbie-themed items.
And putting dicks on stuff.
Oh, yeah, put a dick on it.
Yep.
That's a business venture we'll go out later.
Yeah.
We're lasering dicks on things. We're not putting actual penises on items. That would be weird. But anyways, events take a lot out of us. It is so much work in so little time. And when on game day, we expand by like 3 people. So then we're a 6-man team, which is great. And that really helps. But even then, with the stuff that we've accomplished, we're still very like just a little team. And I feel bad because it's like social media wise, I'm trying my best to still put out content after the event, but dude, I am toast.
Yeah.
Toast. So I've been doing stuff here and there. But you guys will get a shop update soon. Then the next day was your birthday.
Yes.
Actual birthday. So one of Lou's birthday curses is that Lou doesn't get coffee on your birthday or your anniversary day.
Yeah, that's okay. So if you somehow missed this thing I talk about quite often, is that Caboose brings me coffee every morning. And because I wake up after him because he goes to work at like fucking 4 a.m. and I don't wake up typically until like 7 or 8.
Yep.
You know, tattoo artist life. The coffee would be cold.
That's still considered early in tattoo artist life. 8 a.m. is like a 6 a.m.
Yeah, but I like to be done tattooing by 5. I still work like regular, like normal people like hours. So yeah, he puts it in like travel mugs so that way it stays really warm. Shout out to Starbucks travel mugs. Those fuckers know how to make a good mug. I have some of their mugs that still keep it warm for up to 12 hours and are about 10 years. Oh no, it's older than that.
Older than 10 years?
Yeah, they're like...
You showed me your travel mug the other day. I didn't realize that it was originally green. It's like just straight up silver now. I thought it was supposed to be all silver.
Wow. Yeah, they're almost 15 years old.
Nice.
And
they do the job.
Yeah, and they do the job. So we were talking about the fact that that's like one of the curses is first off, I love coffee. If you know anything about me, you know I love coffee. I see it in a movie and I will be like, oh, fucking a cup of coffee. And Caboose still brought me coffee that morning because I asked him like, hey, I know we're going to do this little thing. Callie will tell you about it in a second. But can you still bring me coffee so that way I can get downstairs? Because I won't be able to get downstairs unless I have coffee. And then he came up, brought me my coffee, woke me up and was like, hey, we're like 10 minutes out for being ready for you. So then I was like, well, now I feel gross because I became acutely aware that after that event, I did not take a shower because we got home at like 11 something at night.
It was like 11:30. Yeah, 11:30ish. It was like right before midnight. I think around midnight we all like settled down and had a beverage together.
Yep.
But yeah, we got home late because again, it's a lot more than you guys like could ever anticipate. That 7 to 10 p.m. is the very tip of the
iceberg. And we'd been up since like
7
a.m. And I had gone to bed the night before at like 4 a.m. And then on that morning, I'd stayed up with Cole until
Mhm.
6 a.m. It was like a proper little like slumber party from
It
like middle school. We were
was.
both like laying on the couch, just like talking about everything.
Oh,
It was so nice.
cute.
And so yeah, so I woke up and then was like, oh no, I smell like other people because I'd been hugging people.
Mhm.
And had to take a really quick shower. Got
Mhm.
out of the shower. Caboose was like, hey, yo, we're ready for you. I'm like, all right, I'll be right down. Drank a sip of coffee and no one's around. Like just me and a towel. And I drank my coffee and I was like, fuck, I love coffee. So that's how much
Mhm.
I love coffee. That I
Yeah.
will tell coffee I love it. I will
Mhm.
tell the universe I love it when no one else is around, like
Yeah.
a fucking crazy
When you're about to
person.
go to bed, you're like, I'm so excited to drink coffee tomorrow.
Oh, that's
like,
my
it's
favorite. Like
so
I
good.
go to sleep thinking about the fact of like, oh, I can't wait for that because that first
Mhm.
sip of coffee. Oh, after the first
Yeah.
sip, it all kind of goes downhill. But that
Mhm.
first sip of coffee, so good.
It's just what does it for you.
Yep.
It's just
And so then
amazing.
I come downstairs.
Yes.
And then
So we came up with this thing to ensure that you had a cup of
you
coffee.
came up with it.
Yeah, I did. I pictured, because you had asked the question like, okay, what does a perfect birthday for me looks like for you guys? Because there's a lot of like, I shouldn't say pressure, but obviously when you are a friend of someone who's had traumatic birthdays, there's a little bit of pressure to make sure that it's not gonna be a traumatic birthday that year.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, of all the days, we're trying to make sure that we're not adding to the pile of trauma birthdays. So you had asked us like, what does my perfect birthday look like to you guys? And I said, okay, we wake up. And you started laughing because it's oddly specific. I would hope we wake up, right?
Yes.
We wake up, then all of us compete in a blind taste test of the best cup of coffee that we can
Mhm.
possibly make for you. Everything's on the table. You can put pretty much anything in it. Just don't make it gross, obviously. We're
Yeah,
actually
no mayonnaise.
we're trying to actually make a good cup of coffee, right? So to throw Lou off, everyone was doing hot coffees. I decided to do iced. So I did an iced coffee, and it
Mhm.
was really fucking silly because I made in true Callista fashion, everything is extra. I put frosting on the rim of the glass and put sprinkles on it. Then I did iced coffee, ice, obviously, rum horchata, and then we had this like vodka whipped cream.
Yep.
More birthday sprinkles. Looked like something that little Timmy would get. Is
Yeah,
what you
that's
said.
what I said.
Like a child's
Like
drink.
a child made it.
Like a child made. There's sprinkles. Why are there sprinkles on the rim of the glass? Who knows? But
It
it's
looked
extra.
so pretty though.
It was cute, right? It was
Mhm.
cute. Very birthday. And then Cole actually went a very interesting route. I was very jealous of Cole's route that they did.
I feel like if Cole would have added honey,
Then it would have been fine.
perfect.
So here's the thing. Cole's cup of coffee looked great. It was just the fact that it was disgusting.
It would have tasted great if honey had been added.
There we go.
Because you know I love a boozy cup.
You do. So Cole, in true like English fashion, made it boozy AF.
Mhm.
Pretty much any of the alcohol that was in the pantry that had the word peppermint in it, Cole put it in along with coffee. And unfortunately, when you actually tasted it, because we all decided to take a sip, it wasn't pepperminty.
No.
It was so odd. It was like
Mm-mm.
oddly sour.
Yeah. It was like so much alcohol. It was just sour. Because I think that's what people forget is that peppermint without sugar doesn't taste like peppermint. You need the sugar to like actually get that peppermint flavor out
There
of
we
it.
go. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. But the presentation was great because
Yeah.
Cole also put biscuits on it. English
Oh,
biscuits.
yeah. The shortbread. Walker
Oh
shortbread.
my god, and it looked so good. It was just a bummer
Yep.
that for some reason it just didn't work out. Rachel was very wholesome. So Caboose told us before the competition, hey, it matters what mug. I'm gonna give you guys
Mhm.
I'm gonna let you guys go first so you can't copy me.
Side note,
Mm.
he came upstairs and was so proud of that. He's like, yeah, I told them that the mug matters
Mhm.
because also, to be fair, to me, the mug does matter. Now, if
Mhm.
someone else is making me a cup of coffee, I don't care.
Yes.
But like, Caboose knows that like, depending on the day, I like different textures.
Mhm.
So the mug matters. So he
Yes.
he was like, this will be an extra little curveball in there.
Absolutely. And it was funny because the mug, and I knew what mug he was talking about, but I again wanted to be different and went with an iced, and I couldn't put an
And
iced
it's
drink
my
in that mug.
favorite
It is.
cup.
It is
so-
your favorite cup.
Yep.
But everyone touched the exact mug, but didn't pick it. It was so funny. I say everyone, Cole and Rachel
Yeah.
touched the mug and said, "Oh, but I'm not gonna pick." And it was the first one that they touched, but they
Yeah.
didn't pick it for whatever reason. But Rachel went ahead and whipped her own cream, which was so bougie fancy.
Mm-hmm.
And then made a like small cup of coffee because she figured since you're gonna have these cups, you would want small tasters, which is smart.
Yeah.
But then you ended up drinking like all 3 cups anyways, plus
Except
the
for yours.
extra one. Except for mine. Mine was not finished.
I literally finished all of them. So like,
Except
fuck
for-
it, a minute.
Except for Little Timmy's, which is totally fine. I also didn't care because it's an ice drink. You know, it's gonna get watered down, whatever.
Yeah.
But Rachel did. So the ratios were a little
Oh, I forgot about the marshmallows.
yeah, the ratios were a little bit off. It was like a 1/4 cup of coffee, and then 3/4 of it was just the homemade whipped cream. And then she put marshmallows in it, but the marshmallows were in the shape of a heart.
Yeah.
But
the marshmallows are from Christmas.
yeah.
They're peppermint marshmallows. And
Peppermint.
fun fact, Rachel and I thought the same thing, which is that once you reheat them, they're gonna
Should
get
be
soft
fine.
again. That's not true. I was like, fuck it, I'll just eat them anyway when I was drinking all the coffee. And they basically turn them into gum, where I was just like chewing, and I was like, this is not breaking down. I've just taken this mouthful and turned it into one glob of gum.
Yep.
So I did have to spit that out.
Yeah, which is totally hilarious. It was so funny. So Rachel did get dinged on points for that. But to be fair, the logic made sense.
Yeah.
It made sense.
I completely agree with that. I thought that's
Yes.
how marshmallows worked.
Yeah. And then Caboose made his cup of coffee last, so that way we wouldn't copy him. And it was the one that won. This is a
I'm really
blind
upset.
taste test.
Yeah, we did a blind taste test. Y'all, I'm telling you what, you want to have a fun fucking time with your friends or like family or whoever the fuck, but like they're my friends and family.
Mhm.
So, you have like, if there's a thing that you like now I'm making all of us do on our birthdays, you have to like pick a thing that's like, okay, I like this one thing. Everyone do like a blind taste or blind like example, whatever. I felt like Paul Hollywood.
Mhm.
I also came downstairs still getting dressed, like putting my socks on and shit. And I was like, I'm late to set because Caboose is like, your coffee's getting cold. And I told him the temperature mattered. So you need to get downstairs. So I'm like, oh, fuck, okay. Because, you know, I'd take an emergency, like I smell like other people shower. So I was coming down and they're all like laughing because I'm like, I'm not ready at all. And they had like a full on little presentation with like a little banner. It was so fucking cute.
Mhm.
And then I just got to go through and like taste them and then put them in order. So we did it a lot like the technical challenge on Great British Bake Off.
Yes, so that also mattered. The presentation, it was very much technical.
It was great. I didn't know who got what.
Mhm.
And then I had to rate them from 4th place to 1st place.
Right.
And of course, Caboose's won, which pissed me off because I really didn't want his to win. Because I feel like I was like, no, it's going to be someone else's.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so much fun. And poor
Hilarious.
Rachel didn't win only because I thought it was a cup of only whipped cream. And then when and it was really good whipped cream. So then to find out that bitch can whipped cream is amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I also was like, oh my God, I didn't even know that like you could do that. Impressive.
But it meant that I got to like have a really safe, fun thing that was kind of nerve-wracking.
Yes.
But the great part was that like when Caboose came upstairs to like get me and he was talking about how he and Rachel were both yelling at you and Cole about like you guys fucking with each other and how you like
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Because we signed cards as well. And I felt so guilty for this, but I did not have time to get you a birthday card because we were planning an event. So I was like, fuck, Caboose, if you could do this, because he had to run to the store that morning anyways, that'd be great. And then I was like, oh, we should all sign this card. It'd be cute. So we all signed the card, and while Cole was signing it, I was just kicking balloons and throwing them in her face and in their face. And it was just so hilarious because we got yelled at by both Rachel and DJ Boozy.
Yeah.
At one point, Caboose is so funny when he does this, Callista! And then Rachel's so cute because Rachel's always like, stop fucking with Callie, leave her alone, and sign the damn card. Like, it's so fucking funny.
So it's like nice because that's like the first thing I got woken up to is he's like, I'm so sorry if they woke you up. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, they've just been down there fighting. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, we were both having to be like, stop it. Stop it. Make your coffee.
If you
You're
pop a
ruining
balloon,
it.
you are going to be in so much trouble. Do your thing. It was just so sweet. And then we were throwing elbows while we were making each other's coffee.
That's what he
for
was
you.
saying.
Yes, it was a competition.
And it was just so nice.
We were taking it very seriously.
Because it just felt like immediately ate. I got a cup of coffee. I got my own cup of coffee like before I had to come downstairs, and then I had this like what felt like to me like a presentation of love. Because if you know me, I also love Great British Bake Off, and so then to do this like blind challenge, and we're all really competitive, so it was just a really fun way to like start the morning.
Yes.
And then we ate breakfast and we hung out for a bit. And then, I don't remember. Yeah, we just like hung out for a bit and we're like chatting and stuff. And then it was like time for us to go do stuff. So we were like, okay, we're going to go play putt-putt. Because we have our inflatables. So we all, that's what we spent time doing, was trying on our inflatables.
Yes, of course. So y'all nailed it on Rachel Corn and I's inflatables, because I was meant to be an axolotl and Rachel was meant to be a unicorn. Amazing. And then you got a new one, and Caboose, and we also got Cole a new one. Yep. So Cole was fully covered, because I got Cole for Secret Santa, and I made sure that their face was exposed because I'm an asshole, and it was so funny.
So silly.
So Cole was a shark, Caboose was a raptor, and you were a Triceratops, which, by the way, our new shop mascots are definitely a Triceratops and an axolotl.
Yep.
We've got Sarah and Lottie. Yep, Sarah and Lottie.
So just fucking watch out, because you're about to get some Sarah and Lottie content coming soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be so fun.
Because it's so much fun. Because you dressed up as Sarah, Lottie, the axolotl, to give me my cake
for your birthday.
On my birthday.
So if you guys were at the fundraiser, you missed me getting into a giant axolotl costume, and we all sang happy birthday while I was dancing in my costume.
And it was great, because you were like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so embarrassing.
Yeah, I was like, I'm a little bit scared.
Yeah, and I was like, this is going to help me, because like it's going to mean that the attention isn't directly on me, because if you do have birthday trauma, you know that everyone's singing you happy birthday, and recognizing that is awful. She's not even trying to be with me. She's trying to be with you.
What are you doing? It's so cute. Why?
So, yeah, like it was hilarious and cute and was perfect. So we all dressed up. You know, we're trying them on, the ones that we just got new ones. And then we went to go play putt-putt. Yes. But of course, randomly, they were closed.
Birthday trauma, dude. Yep. Why?
Yeah. And so I was like, oh no, this is the birthday curse coming in, where it's like, hey, we have this plan. We'd already called them and confirmed they would be open, and then they're not open. And it was a really beautiful day out. So I was like, I don't want to be indoors, because you had recommended some other places that like we've gone before and they would be fun. But they're indoors.
And it's also, it's stuff we've already gone bowling, and that would be fun still. But like, you know, we were kind of looking for something new to do on your birthday. And you were like, oh, we could go to the park and walk around. And Cole came out of the car and was like, oh, it's such a nice day out. Which just really helped you.
Yeah, which is one of those things where, like, we'll talk about it a little bit more once we're done with this really, I say quick, it's not been quick, summary of my birthday. But also, this is because I want to come back later and be able to listen to this in a couple of years to be like, wow, remember all these amazing things we did. So you guys are just my personal diary at this point. But I was, you know, in the car, because we have to take 2 separate cars because we don't have our dream minivan yet for our big ass group of people. So we were in the car. Daly just fell right off my lap. And I was riding with you, and we're like, okay, this is closed. Fuck. And I was looking at like the sky, and it was just gorgeous. I was like, I don't want to be indoors and do activities. I want to be outdoors and play.
Right.
And then Cole, just by saying, but it's a really nice day out, when we made a suggestion for something that was indoors, gave me the courage to then say, what if we went to like this other park, we just get like a ball and we can just kick around a ball.
Yeah.
And I think that's the importance of like having good communication around your, like, with friends. And like, by Cole just saying that, like, randomly, just like, I don't know, you know, their like motive besides just being like, oh, it's a beautiful day, but it was the validation I needed to be like, you are allowed to want to be outside.
Yes.
This is not you being difficult. Like, it is a beautiful day. Other people want to enjoy the day. And I think that's really what that validated for me, was like, other people don't want to be indoors. Yeah. So you're allowed to be like, hey, this is it. So then we went to Target. Yes. And that was a whole fucking thing.
We got distracted, but we ended up getting a ball. And then Cole and I had to pitch our ideas of, I found this miniature golf set for toddlers. Yep. And Cole found a baseball one. So we pitched our idea, which one should we get? Because they're, you know, only like $30. And you had this look on your face like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to make a decision. And I was like, we can just get both.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get both because the more the merrier. We have a
Yep.
ball to kick around. We've got a miniature golf thing because, you know, we couldn't do putt-putt, but we can play tiny golf.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny golf. And then we also got a little plastic baseball bat and baseball.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then we got a little, like, it's a toddler's football.
Yeah,
So that way we could do, like, some kickball.
exactly. So we
Oh,
went.
or for you Americans, a soccer ball.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
We went to the park.
Yep.
Got our inflatable
Which
costumes.
is technically a dog park, by the way.
Yes.
So I'm so excited to tell people that for my birthday, my friends took me to the dog park and
Yeah.
threw a ball around with
We had
me.
no dog.
No.
Just
Just me. I'm the dog in this
Well,
situation.
to be fair, we had 2 dinosaurs, a shark, an axolotl, and a unicorn.
Yeah.
So we were allowed to be at that fucking park.
Yep.
You know, we are pets. But yeah, took her to the dog
Yeah,
park.
they
we
took
played
me
around
to
with
the
the
dog
ball.
park. Yep.
And we were having so much fun that a group of people was completely stopped and
Yeah.
strangers, by the way.
Yeah.
This group didn't come together. It was like at least 9 people at one
Yep.
point. Randoms. Stopping
Just
and
watching us play like monkey in the middle. Which is great because I have a lot of like trauma around monkey in the middle as well. Because obviously like I had big brothers, so I played a lot more with like dudes that were older than me when I was younger.
Mhm.
And so I wasn't always the best at monkey in the middle.
Yeah.
And let me be really clear, you guys. Throw on an inflatable costume and play monkey in the middle. It will erase that trauma because you can't see.
Nope.
You don't know where you're going. You can't see what's being thrown at you. You have a small little window that you can actually see out of. And then like as you move, that changes. And if you get the inflatables where your hands are covered, which was like a requirement because your hands were covered in the axolotl, I was like, this has to happen.
Yep.
You can't particularly use your hands a whole bunch. So like
No.
Caboose, who is really good and sporty, just like naturally very sporty,
Mhm.
kept throwing the ball and hitting himself in the like inflatable head. So it would just like not go and you can't see where it's at. So then you're just like, I threw it and it would just drop instantly.
Yep.
Funniest fucking shit. But like when you're in it, you also, if you are kind of like neurospicy like myself, or you just don't like attention being on you,
Mhm.
inside of my inflatable, like I now understand like a lot of like mascots, like why
Yeah.
they feel really comfy, because you feel really safe inside of there. Like I couldn't really see the people that were watching us. At one point I looked over and I was like, there is a big ass crowd over there of people just standing on this path watching all of us play.
Mhm.
But then you're like, they can't see me, so it's fine. And it was so much fun because
Yeah.
like that was probably the best I've ever played at Monkey in the Middle.
I have not played like a kid like that in so
Yeah.
long, where it was just pure unadulterated joy and just
Mhm.
fun and laughing. Every single time one of us fell, it was way funnier because it was a fucking
Yeah.
costume because we're huge. The inflatables are fucking ginormous. They're literally like bigger than life,
Yeah,
mascot level, things. Why are you standing?
she doesn't know what she wants out of life, okay? But yeah, it was, and that was my hope was like we would wear these inflatables, we'd go play putt-putt, because I just wanted to play like you see children play, because that's been something I've been like reading a lot about lately, is the importance of play
Mhm.
and the importance of just like having that sort of like joy
Yes.
and like building those memories. So it's not like, okay, we're adults, we must sit around and drink wine and that's it and talk politics. Like,
Yeah.
where we'll go to a fancy dinner for your birthday. Like, no, I just wanted to like play. And with you guys, I have that ability to just like play. There's no
Yes.
judgment. Like, I can take my mask off. I don't have to
Mhm.
be like professional. I can
Mhm.
just, I noticed I sucked my thumb more this weekend like than I typically do, because like A, I was tired,
Mhm.
and B, like I just wasn't thinking about it. And where typically if I would like suck my thumb when I'm tired and like someone else is in the room and they'd like look over at me, I'd instantly like hide that I'm doing it.
Mhm.
And like Rachel looked over at me at one point and I just had my silky in my hand, was sucking my thumb, and was like, okay, whatever. Like, she doesn't love me less for it. And
Mhm.
Cole's really good about this, that like I will say something like, well, I think that's just like my autism.
Mhm.
And then Cole will be like, that's what I love about you.
Absolutely.
And so there's so much like validation around like our experiences with stuff that
Mhm.
like that's kind of what I wanted to like, long story short,
yes.
except for you guys are 30 minutes in, so it's long story long, get to with like the importance of having open communication
Mhm.
and finding people that you can just truly be yourself with.
Absolutely.
Because there's not a whole lot of people I would have been like, okay, here's my plan. We get a ball and we go to the park.
Yep.
And then you guys go and grab even more like genuinely toddler
Yep.
toys.
Yep.
And say, hey, we got T-ball and little tiny golf clubs that are like
Yes.
corgi size.
Yep.
And then we just get to play. And like I fell over so many times because I would just be laughing. So I'm sure like if you're on our social media, there'll be videos and it's just me falling over constantly. And I got to run like an actual child and or puppy. And I just ran around and I felt like so incredibly free to do it because I was like, nobody here is judging me. First off, I'm an inflatable, so nobody else is judging me. But it's how I feel when I see like a field. My desire to just run arms up in the air and just flop and like flail is massive. And the issue is that like in our current society, we can't just do that. Like that's weird. And they're like, don't do that. Only kids can do that.
It's so interesting to me. We just have built such a really strong friend group, and I just want more people to just realize that, like, yeah, you can cater your life the way that you want to live it, and your friends should be people that you can feel completely unmasked around, like genuinely unmasked around. And I shouldn't say should. I don't want to project my lifestyle on anybody, but like it was just so close to what my childhood, like the good parts of my childhood were, where it's just complete elation and pure fun.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people get to experience that anymore. Like that fun, that silliness, that like sunlight, that like...
Yeah. That it's just pure play. And then something else that I wanted to like kind of highlight that was great was that like within our group, because we like have very secure attachment styles with each other. Like I know that like if I say something that hurts your feelings, we can broach that topic and we have good communication around it. And so there was a point when, this is also FYI, how hard we fucking play. This is not the first time, but indeed the third time that a piercing has been ripped out of my face while we're playing.
You know that I'm having a good time when my nail comes off.
Yes.
Not my actual fingernail, but I'll wear these like fake acrylics for a while, the press-ons, and they come off all the time.
Yes. And so we're like fucking around playing, and then the net inside of my inflatable grabs my high nostrils, which they're still like healing and not having a great time, rips it right the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's got a backing, so it just ripped the front portion off, and I could still see it inside of my inflatable, but it meant that I had to, like, leave the game for a minute, because we were kicking a football around, and try to, like, put it back in, and it was great, because, like, I think it was, maybe it was Cole, maybe it was Rachel, I don't remember, maybe it was you, but somebody came over and was like, are you good? I was like, I just need to put my piercing back in, and then I think it was Cole, and they were like, game's still on, and just went and played, and it was so nice because I didn't feel like I was like, oh my god, like I am having a little minor panic like moment where I'm like, fuck, my piercing just got ripped out, and they're tiny, you know, it's a nostril piercing, so the jewelry is tiny. Am I gonna be able to get this back in? I'm also like inside of an inflatable and I don't have a mirror, and so how the fuck am I gonna do this? So I was like trying to do it. Caboose comes over and checks on me, but you guys were still playing, so it was one of those great moments where I didn't feel like the entire party like stopped and were like checking on me, but the moment I said I'm good, I just need to handle this real fast, we still played. And like Rachel had to stop playing for a minute to just like do her own thing. And
it's she's free to do it, and that's the kind of the safety thing. Is the fact that all of us are able to make decisions for our own well-being without the group being negatively impacted, if that makes sense. Like the whole group is just so supportive of like, oh, if you're not feeling well and you need a break and you know you cannot be in an inflatable costume right now, totally fine.
And I think like the great part about that is that like we continued to play and have fun, and like obviously I hope, I'm only speaking for myself, I know that if I'm like, no, I need to go, like, no, this is like, we need to end, whatever, I feel secure enough to, like, say, hey, we need to change plans. But we don't, like, when you grow up in, like, a toxic, like, family dynamic that says, hey, if one person is having a bad time, everyone needs to fucking stop. Then you can adopt that, and it's taken until now in my life where that hasn't been a thing, where like I looked over and I was like, oh, like Rachel's not playing anymore, and then I was like, but everyone else is, so we can keep playing. And then on the way back, I was like, well, I feel bad because I didn't necessarily know that Rachel felt bad, like physically.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh no. And then everyone was like, that's okay. And so I got to voice my feelings, still have them validated of like, you can feel bad, but like Rachel wouldn't want to stop playing.
Yeah.
And so it was a space for me to feel my feelings, for Rachel to feel her feelings, and that like we can also voice it. So you don't just have to keep everything like inside of you to be like, I can't say anything because it's not safe.
Totally.
And I think that's where like true healing, like I don't think you can emotionally heal without other relationships.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that true healing happens through those methods of communication.
Absolutely. I totally agree on that. And it's one of those things where it's like you need that diversity in relationships in order to realize what works and what doesn't work. And if you find yourself in the same pattern with people who have treated you the same way, or like, you know, if you grow up in a toxic family situation, it does prep you for toxic friendships. And so if you keep emulating that environment, you're not going to be able to realize that, like, wait a second, I can find my people. It, like, quite literally keeps the door being shut from possibilities of finding that healing.
Yeah.
I personally think. I don't think that you can. It's one of that thing where like where one door closes, another window opens, or whatever. Like the goal is to keep the door open for all possibilities.
Yeah.
So when you find yourself in the same situation over and over and over again, you have to start to realize that like, okay, it's time to like actually venture out, do things that make you uncomfortable, find people. Because like the way that we met Cole and Rachel was totally out of just chance, you know?
Yeah.
They were doing an event. You happened to reach out to Cole. And then Cole and Rachel ended up being two of the most important people in our lives.
Well, and I think what's funny is like the different sides. Because I reached out to Cole. Cole then was like, oh, let's have a conversation on the phone. And I was like, I fucking hate that. I don't want to do that.
Yep.
And you remember me being like, what if they're mean to me? Because that's my go-to statement that always happens. I'm like, what if they're mean?
Yeah.
You're like, they're not going to be mean. They'll be fine. And so then we had that conversation. I was like, look, if you wanted to come to Reno, like, you can stay with me. And it's so funny because Cole even wrote it in my birthday card of like, you invited two strangers to come stay with you. Yeah. And to me, I'm like, you stayed at a stranger's house.
That's like, wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like it just fit instantly because it was one of those cases where it's like, yeah, obviously like we've worked on it and we still work on like, hey, we should talk about this. Like the conversation that we had on last podcast where it's like, what is love? Like you brought that up and like part of what we all do because we still are very new to actually like getting to know each other. Like, yes, I feel like they can see my entire soul, but we're all learning so much about each other because the actual physical times that we spend together are not a lot. We actively work on that knowledge base. Yeah. So we actively go, okay, how can I show you love better? What does love feel like in these moments? And that's where the like healing happens because we communicate all that, but we are able to communicate because we encourage that communication.
Yes.
Because we say, hey, when you said this, it made me feel like that. Or like, and we sit in those moments. So like another thing that I realized this weekend that was massive for me was like we were talking and I said I just and then you very quickly like jumped on the like, hey, stop saying I just. When you say I just, it like makes me feel bad. Yeah. Because we were talking about pain and how like I have an ability to disassociate because I've like learned a lot about pain and a lot of physical pain is mental. We know that part.
Because we were talking about like workouts and stuff like that and how like you can stay in the pain cave and you were saying that like, well, I just turn it off.
Yeah, you can just turn pain off. Like you can just completely like be like the statement that's in my brain because I'm always in motion is I don't have time for this. Yeah. And so I will just like say, okay, I don't have time to feel this way and I'll just turn it off. And I was like, that's all you do. I'm just like, I just do this. Yeah. And then you pointed out the fact of like when I
was like, when you say I just do this, it makes me feel bad because it makes me feel like I should also just be able to do that. But like the fact that you can do that is awesome. I'm like, you are in the top percentile of people that like can do that. The majority of the people, 99.9% of the people that you talk to cannot just do that. Yeah. I'm like, no, it's a cool thing. It's a good thing. But like when you say I just, it makes me feel bad.
And when she said that to me, I was like, ooh, that stings. Like, I don't like that. And I had to like sit with the fact of like, when someone says something and it hurts a lot, that's usually because they're touching like some like semblance of truth.
And that's the thing too, is like, it's human reaction to have it hurt and then be like, oh, I don't want to look into it. No, if it hurts, it's worth investigating.
Yeah. And so, like, I then took the time at that point to be like, okay, you need to be present in this, recognize that, like, that was really painful to hear, but now we're going to, like, think about why.
Yeah.
And then it led to a massive epiphany for me.
Huge.
Which was that, like, when I say I just, I am trying to disassociate from a feeling of, like, something that I've worked on or a point of, like, because it's
something that sets you aside.
Yeah, something
special.
Something that makes me different than other people, because I'm aware I look different, but I don't actually want to be different.
And that's biologically in us.
Yeah, like I want to be like the rest of the tribe. I don't necessarily want to look like everyone else, but I want to fit in because that's how we stay with safety.
Yeah.
So when you point out something that's like, that makes me different, and especially in ways that like, I don't know the nice way to like say this, but that like makes me special or makes me, the word that keeps coming up, which I think I need to like dissect, that is superior. And so like that is a huge trigger for me, because like in the household I grew up in, if you were better than anyone else at something, then you were in, like, you basically removed yourself from the pack and you were open to attack. Right. So, like, anything that makes where it's like, oh, hey, I might be better at this, or I might be further along at something. If you're better at anything, that's a bad thing. That's like, you are open for criticism and attack. You need to fit in the exact correct amount to just blend in with the rest of the group. So when I'm like, oh, I just do this, it's a way for me to bring myself, like, with the pack.
Yep.
But what happens is that as I'm trying to, like, put myself in the group and I'm trying to diminish something, I very accidentally diminish everyone else's feelings around it, because then I'm like, oh, I just like say, no, the pain is over there and I don't have time for this, and you just suppress it. But when I say I just, it then says, I'm going to take this thing that you think is special and tell you it's not special, which is why then you get that feeling of, I should be able to.
Right. The term I just, for some reason, translates in everyone else's brain as you should. Well, you should be able to.
I'm wondering if it is everyone or if that's like
it might just be a me thing
for you. So I'm curious about that. If you have an opinion on that, if you're like, hey, if I hear I just, because for me, if I hear I just, I'm like, wow, that's so interesting. Like, how do you get there? Like,
it's a way more streamlined thing.
Yeah. And then for you, when you hear I just, you're like, oh, that means I should.
Right. Oh, crazy.
Yeah. And that's so
crazy.
For me, like, because I don't feel like I should for most stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, meh, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Like, so that's not a wound for me. But that's that thing of like, it takes bravery for you to be able to say that. And then it takes bravery on my side to be able to sit with that. To
receive
it.
Yeah.
I need to receive that. I need to investigate what this is, because that's not my intention.
Right.
And I could have just been like, whatever, that's your problem. But instead I sat with the like, okay, that really stung. Why did that sting? And then go, oh, fuck, that's you disassociating from anything that makes you special. The same thing Cole does all the time when Cole's like, that's what I love about you. And I'm like, I think that's just my autism, or I think that's my ADHD. And then says, you don't get to fucking skirt around this moment. You're going to sit in the discomfort of like, that's what makes you special.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the thing with like friendship. It's a little bit building off of what we talked about last time of like, what is love to you? Like, what do you want out of your friendships? Because like, oh, excuse me. When you said that, that's what I want. I want people to be like, hey, when you say this, it hurts my feelings.
Absolutely.
So that way I can say, oh, well, I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Absolutely.
And then like gives me the insight to like sit down and be like, oh, let's like sit with myself and like where this comes from.
Well, when they say that like all relationships are, I don't know if people actually say this, but I really do think all relationships are a team. When you want to be a team, you have to be able to like, I don't want to say have to or project anything, but like I would prefer that all of my teams are built on open communication and letting me know what works for me, what doesn't work for you. What, like, how can we come in the middle to create a successful project and the project being in this scenario a successful friendship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for me, our
The
project is like
relationship.
a better life. Like
Yes,
that we
life.
all like, yeah,
At
that
all.
our life quality is improved. The fact that now I'm like, okay, inflatables are like a thing with us now.
Yes.
And they bring immense joy. And the $50 for
Endless
an inflatable
entertainment.
is like great for the endless entertainment of it all. And so like for me, it's one of those that like it has greatly improved. Like it being in relationships with each and every one of you has greatly improved my life.
Yes.
To the point where like I now get sad when I think about death because not because I'm, just to be clear, I don't believe in like an afterlife, and whatever you believe in, that's beautiful and great.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, okay, I'm literally just holding her
I'm
butt.
also supporting her. I just got to move my hand a little bit.
She's quite upset because we just moved. But I get sad for like the idea of my death because then I know how like deeply impactful that will be on the people that love me, and that makes me sad. But if you think about like 2 years ago when or a year and a half ago, however long we started this podcast, it was like, but I would get sad at my idea of death because I was like, but how would you do these things?
Yeah.
And like that evolution of growth that's happened in our relationships where
Yes.
now I'm like, oh no, I'm sad because if I die, you would be really sad because you'd miss me.
Absolutely.
Not the things I'm doing for you.
Yes.
And that's the stuff, like that's the healing that happens in friendships is that you can then like see those like areas that makes you special to other people.
Yep.
So that's my long-winded way of being like, hey, what do you want out of your friendships? Bruh.
Bro.
Also, I had a great birthday because the birthday curse is fucking canceled. Oh yeah, because that's the point of the birthday curse. We also forgot to do our genders.
Yes.
Birthday curse was that I have to have all of us together, and that's the trick. Is that like
We have
all
to
of
join
us
forces.
came together,
Yes.
and then it was like, meh, okay, sure, the place was closed, but it wasn't about going to play putt-putt. It was just going to play,
Absolutely.
and that was it, and to be outdoors. And that was the best part, was it was like, because we were all together, we were able to like adjust and have fun. I
I
don't
have
know
to pee
what she's
so
doing.
bad. Can you grab her?
Yeah,
I'm so sorry,
but
you
no-
guys. I cannot
you-
finish this
okay.
episode.
She'll
Bailey,
be right
fill
back.
in for me. I have to pee so
Bailey
bad.
says, my gender feels like the most perfect dog in the entire world. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do at this point, so...
Hi, everybody. I'm back. I'm so sorry. I've never had to do that in an episode, and now I can't sit in my chair because I've been C-checked. Bye, Bailey. My gender today feels... my gender today
Like a
feels...
water balloon that was full of pee?
Yeah, that just exploded. No, my gender today feels like a really, really snuggly bug in a rug. Snuggly bug in a rug.
That's really good.
Thank you. What does your gender feel like today?
My gender feels like the little wispy bit from a dandelion, just
Wispy
like
bit?
floating in the breeze. Yeah, you
Nice.
know, like the end of a dandelion. It just like floats. I guess it's the seed, but I call it a wispy bit.
I like the whispers.
Yeah, I feel like a dandelion seed just floating in the wind on like a warm breeze.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, it's
Good.
pretty good. I'm feeling good.
Amazing.
Yep.
Gosh, this is a long episode.
And then, what was your win for today? I'm gonna make you keep awkwardly standing there.
No, that's perfect. My win for today was getting up and going pee before I almost died. That was awful. I don't know what happened to me. It was from 0 to 100 right away. But yeah, saving everyone from the pee that was about to happen. That was my win for today.
That would have been hilarious
If I
you just
peed
like.
myself on the podcast,
Yes!
no, it wouldn't
That
have.
would have been so funny.
I would have been humiliated.
So funny. I would have also peed myself so you didn't have to do it by yourself.
Oh,
and then
thank
it would have been
you.
the pee episode.
That's friendship. What is your win for today?
I forgot. I had a fucking really good win and I forgot.
Well, you can do it on next week's episode.
So I'm going to say that my win I'm going to say this week and not today. I don't know why I asked for you for today.
Whatever.
My win for this week was having a fucking good birthday.
Amazing birthday.
And like being able to just like sit in the joy and to ask for what I wanted, and to make you guys watch Saltburn. We'll talk about that next episode. And to just like feel frustrated when I felt frustrated because we had to walk a really long distance in our
We did.
fucking inflatable, and I was
We
really
did.
mad about that. And I just let myself feel it.
Yeah.
So I
was
just like
awesome.
rode all the emotions that I felt that day.
Absolutely.
And it was great. Are you uncomfortable? You're very wiggly.
Me?
Yeah.
No. I'm hanging out.
Okay, so on that note, if you have stayed through this entire episode, thank you so much. Because I always forget to say it, please go like, review, subscribe, all of that jazz. It does actually help.
That'd be great.
That would be really grateful. Because we meet a lot of people that really enjoy the podcast apparently.
And thank you for enjoying it.
Yeah, thanks. And if you want to leave a review or if you want to go and leave a nice comment, you can keep the shitty comments to yourself, please. Mm-hmm. I would greatly appreciate that. And, oh, yes, one last thing. If you would like to donate to our studio fundraiser for rezoning, we can't necessarily talk about that a whole bunch on the podcast right now because we still are going through that process. However, if you would like to leave a donation, you can go to our website, which is Callie Lou's Tattoos, and click on the donate button, and you can put however much you want in there. And for everyone that has donated and for everyone that showed up at the fundraiser, thank you so much.
Thank you. You've helped out so much. Yeah. Every cent counts, and honestly, I'm just so overwhelmed with love and support from this amazing community that supports us. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys back next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Do.